Welcome to Energetic Advantage, the podcast where energy isn't woo, it's your edge. I'm your host, Jessica Serrato, intuitive strategist, lifelong pattern decoder, lover of numbers, and energetic guide for visionary leaders. Around here, we go energy first, strategy second. Every episode will give you a perspective, a tool, or a timeline shift that helps you lead from your power. Because the truth is, your energy is your most undervalued asset until you learn how to use it. Get ready, you're about to have the advantage. Let's begin. Are you ready for it? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, today's episode is going to be a bit different. There will be a lot of singing, apologies in advance, and I think all of my podcasts are fun, but this one is going to be super fun because we are going to dive deep into a case study. Now, I am so excited about this because case studies are honestly one of my favorite ways to teach numerology. And today's case study, I'll explain in a little bit why I chose her, but will be about Taylor Swift. Now, it doesn't matter if you know anything or nothing about Taylor Swift and or how you feel about her. This episode is going to help you decode your own life and go deeper into your numerology as well. So you may not know this listening to the podcast, but I have a numerology certification. And over the years, I've had over 500 students graduate from my programs, new to numbers and next level numbers. And then many of those students continued into my alumni group, which was called For the Love of Numbers. And one of the things that we did often was case studies. Because here's the thing, you can try to memorize the definition of numbers, even whatever that is, all day long. You can try to learn, what does a 5 mean? What does a 7 mean? What does this arrow mean? What does this card say? But it really, truly doesn't land until you see it or feel it expressed in a real human being. And so, of course, we can do our own numerology, we can do family members and friends, but case studies are really helpful because it can be an objective observer, right? And we can really start to recognize patterns. And humans learn through stories, not spreadsheets, although I do love a good spreadsheet. And so I just thought it would be fun to demonstrate and go really deep and also have some fun with a case study today. Now, the reason I picked Taylor Swift actually has a very funny and also beautiful origin story around it. So again, something else that you might not know about me, I co-wrote a book called Decode the Deck. And when you write a book, there is this tiny delusional part of you that thinks your children are going to be like, oh, my mom is brilliant. My mom's an author. No, my children, especially my oldest, remained very skeptical about my work. Until one day, my oldest daughter, Justine, she picked up the book and she flipped open to the birthday chart section. It's a chart of all of the days of the year and the card associated with it. And I'm seeing her process this in real time. And she comes up to me with a book and she's like, hey, Mom, I have a question. And she goes, if someone is born on August 21st, okay, so spoiler, that is Justine's birthday. There are 5 of clubs, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. Like August 21st is the 5 of clubs. And then she goes, okay, so if someone is born on December 13th, they're also a 5 of clubs. And I was like, yeah, that's right. And then she pauses. I can see her brain processing. And then she goes, wait, does that mean they have like a similar energy? And I was like, yeah, they both have this contract card of the 5 of clubs. And then she goes, oh my gosh, this book is amazing. I love this. She proceeds to tell all of her friends that her mom wrote this book. She gives the book to her teachers for Christmas presents. And then I clue in. December 13th is Taylor Swift's birthday. So in her mind, as a then, oh my gosh, 10-year-old, she and Taylor Swift are like basically energetically identical, which of course she was thrilled about. So I have to use this case study now because it also is just this beautiful reminder of when you can connect and see yourself in other people. It is this beautiful thing. And a public thank you announcement to Taylor Swift for being the reason why my child now believes in what I do. Okay, so let's start with Taylor's birthday, December 13th, 1989. And before we even do any math, I want you to notice something. There are 8 digits in her birthday. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 9, 8, 9, which is the maximum number possible, right? Maximum of 2 digits in the month, 2 digits in the day, and 4 digits in the year. And you can even recognize this thinking of now all the birthdays in your mind of you, your kids, your partner, whatever. You notice that some people don't have 8 digits because some have the 0, or some are born on a single digit day or a single digit month, right? And so in numerology, we have something called the energy grid, which I've talked a lot about on the podcast. And it looks like this tic-tac-toe board with 9 spaces, and it has the numbers 1 through 9 in each of those spaces. And so here's what's really important. No one can have all 9 numbers, right? Which means 2 things. None of us are perfect, duh. But also, none of us are fully self-contained. We are literally designed to need connection, perspective, support, and collaboration. To have a full grid, we are with other people. We are borrowing numbers, taking numbers from dates, from the energy, right? So someone with 8 digits, this is the closest you can get to being fully internally resourced, which speaks to independence, internal momentum, self-generation, intensity, capacity. And honestly, if you know anything about Taylor Swift, that tracks, right? This is someone who can create entire worlds from within herself. Entire eras, literally. Okay, so now let's do the math. The first thing we do is add all of the digits together. Again, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 9, 8, 9, and we get 34. And then 3 plus 4 equals 7. So Taylor Swift's ruling number is 7. And 7 energy is really fascinating because I feel it's very deeply misunderstood. A lot of people think 7 is like the quiet, spiritual, hermit energy. And although that's one side of it, the 7 is also openness, trust, innovation, action, trailblazing. It is a masculine, physical number. That's where it sits on the plane. But remember, a 7 only moves when it trusts itself enough to move. If you think of what the 7 looks like, right? We talk about this because 7 is the energy of June this year. It involves a tightrope on the top, the willingness to walk a path that no one else has walked. And so this means that the tension within a 7 is always trust versus hesitation. And so the challenges can look like conflicting desires, overthinking, obsessing over choices. And you can really hear this in her lyrics of replaying things over in her mind, right? If you think of that song, Coney Island, which is a beautiful song, right? I think I forgot to thank you. I can't even sing it at the podium, right? Poorly sung by me. You're welcome. But that lyric, that's 7 energy because 7s don't just experience things. They replay them. They dissect them emotionally because the 7 energy wants to understand not just what happened, but what happened here emotionally. And that's why Taylor's songwriting lands so deeply because she does not skim the emotional surface. She excavates it. She goes deeper. The 7 is a digger. And the 7, kind of think again that shape, it pokes and prods, right? And it's willing to get at the sore spot. It's willing to use the pain to work through the transformation. Okay, so now we kind of go into this energy grid and we look at the patterns of numbers that we see. So in an energy grid, we're looking for multiple numbers, any numbers that happen more than once. We're looking for 3 numbers that connect, and we're also looking for empty spaces, either empty spaces on their own or empty spaces that connect. So I'm going to kind of go through all the different parts of her grid, and I want you to kind of even bring this into your own birthday if you can. So we're going to start at the beginning, which is the ones. So actually, I'll tell you, I want you to feel into this grid. So Taylor has 3 ones, 2 9s. She has what we call the arrow of the planner. She has, again, what we call the arrow of frustration. And she is missing the 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's get into it. So 3 ones. 3 ones, right? The amplification of self is all about identity, voice, authorship, expression. This is I tell the story energy versus I'm just participating in someone else's story. This part of the grid tells me that this is someone who needs authorship, which explains songwriting, right? Which explains personal storytelling. We'll get to in a second. It also explains her want to re-record her songs and have that narrative, say control, but ownership. And this also explains why writing became such a massive outlet for her. You can even see, if you've seen it, the documentary, movie, whatever, is she had journals from very young times in her life. And if you know someone with triple ones, sometimes they have a hard time expressing themselves in the moment. They have a hard time knowing what to say. And so giving them an outlet to journal and to write is a really important thing. One exercise I give my clients who have triple ones is this. I want you to take a piece of paper and divide it in half. At the end of every day, on the one side of the paper, I want you to write down everything that you wanted to say, that you wished you said, but you didn't. And on the other side of the paper, I want you to write down the things that you said, but wished you said differently. And you will notice right away a pattern of which side of your paper has more. And it's beautiful because over time, what happens is these lists start to get shorter and shorter and shorter. Because what will happen is if you do it at the end of every day, there's going to be a time, say at 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock or something during the day, where you really want to say something. And you're going to be like, okay, I know I'm going to have to write this later if I don't say it. So how can I say it? And it just allows the expression to be more in the moment. And 3 ones really often express brilliantly through writing. So if you have 3 ones or you have someone in your life who have 3 ones in their birth date, buy them a journal, get them writing. My calendar is actually a great place to start. Every day you get a journal prompt. Yeah, write your songs, write your songs. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is the arrow of the planner. And this is someone who has the 1, the 2, and the 3 present in their chart. And this is so Taylor Swift because, she is methodical. This arrow creates sequences, systems, strategic thinking, a roadmap. Her Easter eggs alone show us this. Easter eggs are these hidden clues that Taylor plants months, sometimes years ahead. She has a plan, but she keeps it close to her chest, do they say? Or keeps it close to her, right? She has these layered symbolisms, these longer game rollouts, like energetic architecture. Like she is playing chess, right? While I'm trying to find the checker pieces under the couch cushions, right? And the thing to be aware of with this arrow is, of course, being willing to change the plan, right? Being willing to do something without a plan. Okay, we move to the center of her chart and it's empty. So she has 3 empty spaces in a row. And this is called the arrow of frustration, which is missing the 4, the 5, and the 6. And this creates, of course, frustration because it creates really high expectations, not only of others, but really of yourself. And when these expectations go unfulfilled, there is a frustration when reality does not match your vision. And you can see this many times in her practices and her rehearsals for her shows. She had such a strong vision, right, of what these could look like. And she held high expectations for herself and everyone on her crew to match that vision, right? And yet, really wanting freedom, right, from any structure that feels constrictive. So you can see this fascinating paradox that she has in her chart of someone literally designed to plan the 1, 2, and the 3, while also being designed to be disrupted and disruptive. And that is creative fuel. And of course, when you have the arrow of the 4, 5, and 6, sometimes the most important thing you can do is shake it off, right? Because you can sometimes be hyper aware of what others think of you and what others say of you. And the only antidote is to shake it off. Don't worry, I won't sing it again. Okay, so now let's talk about the missing numbers. And a lot of times, actually, I don't know of any other numerologists who teach this. And I think because it's a nuance, right? A lot of times we look at what energy is there, but I also look at what isn't there. And so when we look at missing numbers, they're not flaws, they're actually activation points. And so when you're missing the 4, that is at the very bottom of the energy grid, you can struggle with structure and patience. And this means that your discipline is learned through experience. You are meant to experience things to learn. Missing the 5 is actually fascinating. So the 5 sits right at the center of your heart, right at the center of the chart. And the 5 often wants freedom, but sometimes struggles to express this desire for freedom because she doesn't want to hurt anyone else's feelings, right? Because the 5 wants freedom and connection and knows that she is connected, like her energy can affect so many people. And so it's kind of this loyalty to others versus loyalty to herself, right? And you can kind of see this throughout her career of coming from country to pop, from coming from this good girl to like that reputation era, from people pleasing to totally reclaiming her identity. And that shows me someone negotiating freedom in real time. And the lyric for me that really expresses this is in that beautiful song, All Too Well. I'm going to sing it because I can't not. Which is, time won't fly, it's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it. Like that, I want to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it, and how it's connected to all these people or not. That is literally the definition of missing 5 energy. Okay, missing 6. This can really hide these deeper emotions. Having a missing 6, you are very sensitive to criticism. You have this vulnerability. And again, this is very obvious in how she has evolved publicly. Missing the 7, right? This is a big one because she's missing the 7, but she's also a ruling number 7. This means that her life keeps forcing her into self-trust over and over and over again. Anytime that she tries to learn the lesson or take anyone else's advice over her own, it's like a reminder. And it's not because she's bad at it, right? It's because it's the curriculum of her life. That is her lesson. And I just think Reputation, that whole album, was just one giant numerological self-trust activation. Hello, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now, right? That line is so energetically fascinating to me because she's literally announcing identity death and reconstruction, trusting herself in the process, which is also deeply this Ace of Spades energy, which we'll get to in a second, I promise. Okay, she also has the double 9s. And if you think about this, people born in the 1900s, as my kids like to tell me, we all have at least one 9. And so the double 9s, multiple 9s, obviously are more prevalent in those a little bit older or who are older than 26. at the time of this recording in 2026. And this really amplifies idealism, ambition, responsibility, wanting to improve things, self-critique. And this combination, again with that arrow frustration, can really create someone who is very hard on themselves while simultaneously wanting to help others grow. And that is so visible in her art. I hope you're finding this as fascinating as I am, because it just is so cool to see this in real time. We're going to shift now to the card system. So I work with two connected but slightly different modalities, the Pythagorean side, which is what we just went through, the actual numerical numbers, and then the Book of Life, which is the system that the deck of cards is based upon. So, we have 4 seasons, 4 suits. We have 52 cards in the deck, 52 weeks in the year. We have, again, those 4 seasons, those 4 suits, and within each of those seasons, there's 13 cards, which is 13 moon cycles throughout the year. We have 12 months, which equate to the 12 court cards, the Jack, Queen, and King of all 4 suits. And then if you add all of the digits, the numbers of the cards together, you get 364, plus the Joker, the leap year, 1.25, and you get the entire year. So there's a geometrical system underneath this calendar, which shows you the day on which you were born, you come into a contract. And this contract is a clue into your dharma, what you are really here to do and embody in this lifetime. And as you learn from my daughter Justine and Taylor Swift, you can be born on different days and still hold the same card energy. And yet, underneath, don't tell Justine this, but their energy grids are quite different. So how they do their job, this doesn't mean that Justine is going to be a singer, right? But how they do this, how they embody this is going to be different because they have different energy underneath. So this 5 of clubs energy for Taylor needs movement. And I should say, if you're curious about what your birthday corresponds to, of course, we have this book, Decode the Deck, but you can also just message me and I will send you the chart and you can find out what your card is. Okay, so the 5 of clubs needs movement, creative movement, mental movement, identity movement. This is not someone who is meant to stay the same forever. So if you are the 5 of clubs and you expect to have the same profession for your entire life, you must learn how to bring in creativity within it. So this is a great example for Taylor Swift, right? So Taylor Swift, yes, she's been a musician, but as I was saying, she was country, then pop, then she had all of these eras. She was continually reinventing herself as a musician. Another great example of a 5 of clubs is Steve Jobs, right? He was always in tech, but it was like iPhone 13, iPhone 14, he was continually evolving and changing the technology that he was working on. And so going back, like I said, to the Eras tour, this is like one of the most 5 of club things imaginable. Literally celebrating evolution, multi-dimensional, and also reinvention. Okay, now everyone has a card in their chart, which is your moon card. And your moon card is your support system, right? It tells you where you are most meant to get this fulfillment and support. And for Taylor, that is the 10 of spades, which is large groups, impact, legacy, mastery, stadium tours, right? Everyone also has a Mars card, right? A work card, what you are meant to do. And Taylor's card is the 7 of hearts. Her literal work is to dream. The 7 of hearts is the dreamer. It's about unconditional love. Album called Lover. Emotional idealism. And you can hear this like all over her music. I mean, going back to Lover, right? We can leave the Christmas lights up till January. This is our place. We make the rules, right? Dreamer energy. Can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever, right? The 7 of hearts, her work wants transcendent emotional experience. And it's also this work that connects you with other people. So you can see why people really connect to her emotional, dreamlike idealism. And again, each one of us has a different work card, and that's really important to know. We also all have this Jupiter card, this opportunity for expansion. And her Jupiter card splits between love and money, meaning one of the biggest lessons in her life is learning that she can have both. And of course, if you know anything about your life, this has been a recurring narrative for her. We have this result card in our chart. And if you're in business, this result card is also your ideal client. So again, super important for you to know, everybody for sure, but especially if you are an entrepreneur and business and serving people. Her card, Taylor's card, is the Two of Hearts, all about connection and partnership and emotional evolution, releasing old patterns and allowing yourself to be seen and truly seeing others. And not that I have a favorite part of her chart, but this one is beautiful because her cosmic lesson, each one of us has this as well, is the King of Hearts. What we're really, after the 3D lessons in our life, a beautiful result comes in to kind of stamp in that lesson. Leadership through love, emotional mastery, heart-centered authority. And the fact that she literally has a song called King of My Heart, come on. And total Easter egg, because she knew this, she got engaged on a King of Hearts day. This is why case studies are so fun. So if this has you thinking, oh my gosh, I want to know what my work card is. I want to know what my expansion card is. I want to know what my moon card is. I want to know my result, my ideal client. Please reach out. Let's get a reading for you. If you've never had a reading, it's a great place to start. And I'll share a little bit more about the end. You can also learn this system for yourself. You can become certified. You can take my courses. If we just now take this zooming out on her timeline, right? And zooming out of this whole chart, we see waves of transformation. And one of these strongest examples of this numerologically is what I was saying in the beginning, is the re-recordings. When she chose to re-record her songs, because she reclaimed her authorship, her ownership, her identity and legacy. And that's basically all parts of her chart, the 3 1s, the 7, the Ace of Spades, the 10 of Spades, it's all converging. And people felt that, even if they didn't know numerology. And again, part of why people feel emotionally connected to her is because her art, I guess, openly documents this evolution. And so people can see themselves in her evolution in many different parts. The heartbreak, the invention, the longing, the becoming, the searching, right? And just these, what I shared with you today, I hope helps you see kind of this energetic architecture underneath it all. And I just love, of course, we can see this with who we are and our lessons. And then we can also look into the future and look at the opportunities coming. And I really am so excited for what is coming for her. A beautiful new era. And I just can't wait to witness it in real time. Reminding us that it's not fortune telling, it's about pattern recognition. And we can see these energetic themes before they materialize. And when we can do that, we can match our desires to these themes and make them happen. So I hope just by listening, you now realize why I love case studies, because suddenly all of these numbers and these concepts stop being abstract and they start to really become visible. And we can start seeing these patterns, these cycles, these themes, these lessons, these timings, of course, not just in celebrities or public figures, but in yourself. And so again, if you want this information for yourself, I really invite you into 2 different options depending how you're feeling. Come have a session with me. Come get a reading. We'll go through all of these parts of your chart so you have an understanding and can really start to harness it. And now, if your brain is connecting dots like a conspiracy board with like red string everywhere, and you just want to do this for everyone in your life and know this for everyone in your life, this is why I created my certifications, right? They are on demand. You can do them at your own pace. And you are going to learn how to do all of this actually look at someone's chart and understand how it shows up in real life. So I have Nuda numbers, which is the Pythagorean side. I have next level numbers, which is the card system. You can do them both. And if you've ever wanted to learn numerology in a way that feels practical, deep, fun, very much rooted in real life, I would absolutely love to have you inside. And you will see that, of course, you receive all of the information. There's textbooks, everything. And also a lot of my certification involves self-discovery, meaning I take you through visualizations. I take you through like these guided experiences to help you tap into your own intuitive knowing of the numbers. And I guarantee you that once you start seeing these patterns, you will not be able to see them. Okay, well, that was fun. And now I'm trying to think of an appropriate Taylor Swift song to end with. And it's just the one that's playing so much now. Just Opalite. Okay, I won't sing anymore. I think I've endured, or you have endured enough. I hope you enjoyed this episode to give you a glimpse into what we can actually do with numerology. We had some fun. As always, if you have a question, if you want to tell me something funny about numbers or numerology, just reach out on Instagram. I'm here. I would love to hear from you. And I hope that at least one of these songs is stuck in your head for the rest of the day. Okay, everyone. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Thanks for being here inside The Energetic Advantage. If today's episode opened something for you, share it, tag it, or send it to the person who popped into your mind. And remember, energy first, strategy second. Your advantage has always been in you. Now it's time to lead with it. See you next time.